I hit go live. Let's see if it pops up here.
Yeah, waiting for it to happen. It's not. It still says upcoming for me.
Mine says upcoming as well. Um,
Oh, it looks like it's live.
okay, cool. Okay, I don't have confirmation on that in my side, but I take your word for it. Okay, should we get started?
Yeah, let's go
Okay,
for it.
we're gonna do. This is. Oh, there we go. This is the Grey Graf, and with me today is Captain Mark S. We've been
Hello.
playing. Hey, how's it going? We've been playing BattleTech for a long time. I've played it since it first came out over 40 years ago. Mark's been playing this for over 15 years. We've done many, many battles between us, and also with our various friends as well, independent of each other. So we thought we would take a look at one of the boxes that I believe originally was exclusive to Barnes and Noble. It came out, I think, like a year or two ago, but we've never looked at it very closely. Recently acquired it, so it's McCarron's Armored Cavalry Assault Lance. Let me go to. I have not seen any of these, so that's intentional. So I can give you my honest impression right off the bat. But Mark, why don't you go through kind of what we're going to be looking at here?
Okay, yeah. We have again McCarron's armored cavalry lance and or armored assault lance, and this is a very interesting lance pack. It's kind of top heavy with one assault, two heavies, and a medium. McCarron's armored cavalry is a Liao aligned mercenary group, and they're probably only just a little bit less famous than like the Wolf Dragoons or the Hellhounds or Hanson's Rough Riders. But it's still kind of one of the original kind of main mercenary factions. Um, I always thought their logo kind of looked like a middle school or high school like sports team kind of logo.
Me too.
Uh, and I always liked their logo and thought, oh, they sound really cool. Oh, the Liao like aligned. Never mind, I don't care, and never really looked at them besides that.
Pretty much the same with me as well. I thought it was kind of a cool like high school football team kind of logo, but it's because of the Liao aspect of it. I never gave them much thought. Did kind of look at their camos a little bit. It's looks like we've gone with kind of the second armored calves version of it with the blue and yellow. Kind of reminds me of the Michigan colors. I know depending on which group it is, it seems like they vary pretty significantly with the camo schemes, but the blue and yellow definitely pop. They're good looking mechs on the cover there, so this should be interesting. Should we jump in?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, I'll go before we move on. I'll
Yeah,
just go through what we got. We got the medium of a Star Slayer, which also comes in the mercenary box, but this I think is a repose as well as a jumping pose. We got the awesome 9Q or an awesome C, so we got a variant of the awesome, which is cool. It's a new model. We have the Tian Zong, a mech I've really never ever heard of before this box,
never heard
and
of it.
then my probably personal overall favorite mech, both aesthetically and just how it plays, and even in like the online games, the Black Knight.
All pretty cool. I mean, I look
Mhm.
forward to this. I'm definitely much more familiar with Awesomes and Black Knights than I am the other two, but let's check it out. Okay,
Yep, we have the Star Slayer first.
50 tonner. Okay, so it's a medium.
Yeah,
Around 80 battle value. Looks like we've got some maybe TSM going on with the movement. 585 with jump and some TSM, I assume, right?
yeah, it does have TSM,
Okay.
which is interesting because I don't really typically think of like medium mechs, especially ones without any kind of hatchet being mechs I want to go in and do physical attacks with. But it's not bad, I guess.
Yeah, I mean
It's a
1800
weird
is
weapons load.
1800's not cheap. I know we've got our battle diagram there. What are we looking at for the left and right torsos? Looks like a decent amount of armor, but it's I'd be kind of curious to see what the armor is on the torsos.
It's 19.
Awesome, that's perfect. It's I'm being
Mhm.
sarcastic, obviously. It's like such a huge difference between 20 and 19 because of the various 5-point weapon groups out there, a bunch of 4 medium lasers,
The
P
Hunchback with AC-20.
AC-20, the PPCs, of course. It's like wow, that's a big negative right off the bat. I'm already honestly not liking it only from the standpoint of as soon as I saw sniper and 585, like where's the sniper going? Like it's why is it moving so often? I see it has a
Well,
heavy PPC. Go ahead.
which is its only real weapon. Like, I mean, I know we like the medium lasers, but two medium lasers are not enough of a backup. Like, this seems like a budget hunchback.
Yeah, I like the heavy PPC as a weapon.
I
I
do
mean,
too.
we'll have to do a video on the PPCs. I mean, arguably, I don't think that the two heavy PPCs are better than three normal PPCs, because they still also have the same range brackets, including the minimum. They're not bad. I mean, it just gives you that 15-point bracket for the headshot. That's the main advantage. I prefer to have more rolls to hit with. And not worry so much about like just the obscure, headshot chance. But it's a great weapon. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the heavy PPC. I just don't know why you need to be jumping around and you know closing that fast to use it.
Well, actually, you bring up a good point with the minimum range on the PPC because if you have that, why are you going in for a physical attack with a TSM?
Why are you going with the physical attack with the TSM? The medium laser becomes kind of tricky to use. The 3.6, I mean, I know that short range goes out to 6, so the 3, 4, 5, 6 range brackets are okay to work in, but it's not like you have to optimize for that. I mean, two more medium lasers is not enough firepower to really think that much about. And then, like you said, why are you going in for a physical attack and then just taking the heavy PPC either off the table or um, at least a lot worse to hit. I mean, luckily minimum range of 3 is, I think, worst case at point blank is an extra +2, so it's kind of taking it back to a medium range shot, but not loving it. At 1800, I don't, there's a lot of better options on the table, including the standard awesome, for I think about 100 or 200 points less. I know
And the
it's
other awesome that we're going to get to also.
yeah, so I haven't seen all these, but that seems pretty shaky off the bat as being kind of worth it. Weird armor, or poorly allocated armor, on the torsos. Any more thoughts on this before we kind of
I
look
mean,
at the next one?
yeah, I mean, 26 in the center is not bad, but I would have probably preferred it being like 24 and just give it to the sides. Well, I guess it is maxed out armor in the sides. That's hard with the 50 tonners. I think we've talked about this with the Hunchback and some other 50 tonners before, but you only have, I think, 24 armor total for those side torsos. And it has full back armor of 5.
Yeah, I saw that. That is good. I mean, if it's going to be jumping in and get mixing it up in there, again though, the biggest thing is like, why do you have a heavy PPC comboed with a jump capable like mix it up
Yeah. Well,
TSM guy? Like the
mhm.
ECM I like. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's kind of cool, particularly to go in there and disrupt your any kind of C3 kind of stuff. It's all of it's cool except for it just doesn't make sense in the combination. There's nothing individually wrong with it. It's the combo that's bad.
Yeah. Well, and I would say shift like 1 point of armor from each side torso forward. But the first and only time we've ever played with a Star Slayer, not this variant, but the original like Star League era
Right.
variant, your Blackjack hit it in the back with a PPC and just shredded it and caused an ammo explosion.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, taking more armor off the back, I mean, luckily this one doesn't have any ammo to explode, so maybe it's probably even safer to do it, but
Sure. But the bottom line is, though, I mean, it is in the right. Its only decent weapon is in the right torso, and a hunchback could pen it and take it out in the one shot. And
yeah.
I mean, the hunchback could also hit the head and take it out in one shot. But in this case, I mean, it's just the torso, and it's like, really? I mean, it's that fragile. I for 1,800 points for a 50-ton mech with that loadout. I mean, this is like a D for me. Like the only reason it's
Yeah.
not worse is because I actually like the weapons it has, but the
You like that rear
combinations.
mounted head laser?
I know. I was just giving it a pass on that. It's like whatever. I don't
Which I
know.
think the original has also. I don't know why it's got a backwards firing laser in the head. It's not a. If you're gonna put it somewhere, I guess it's not a bad place. It just seems weird.
Yeah, I looked at it as kind of just like it's crypt proofing the head a little bit, but that's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, let me move on to the next one. I
Hmm.
think this is a D. How about you?
I probably agree. I'm
Okay.
not a big fan. I don't like fast jumping snipers. They don't tend to work. I mean, it's like a griffin in speed normally, but it
Yeah.
doesn't make it good.
Yeah, Bob also brought up the point about the backwards firing thing.
Oh
It's like,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, if there's like two of them, which I think there is on the Atlas, I mean, maybe that gives a spider pause from jumping behind it or something like that. But and I think Alpha Strike does it differently, right? I mean, we play Classic, which is it's penalized, but Alpha Strike doesn't penalize rear-facing weapons as much, right?
oh, it does the same way.
Oh, it does the same way. Okay, I didn't realize that it did. Um,
It should, yeah. I mean, it's actually a slight bonus, I guess, because normally in Alpha Strike you can't split fire, but you
okay.
can if you have a rear facing weapon, you could shoot with I think the same penalty.
Okay, but it gives you a second shot, basically, though.
But yeah, so it's actually kind of a bonus having guns in the back, and then you could run into people and fire
Right.
that.
So it
I
depends
think
on what
aimed
you're
the
playing,
same
I
way.
guess. But I mean, it also doesn't charge you very much in the battle value. So I mean, it's okay, just kind of silly. But let me
Yeah.
jump over to the next version. Hopefully that one's a little better. Uh,
Um. Well, he went up in price.
okay, 2200. Now we got 2200 for a 50
Yep.
tonner with the same exact armor. It looks like pretty much.
Actually, it's 1 point less in the center torso.
So it goes to 25, or how much is that?
Yeah, 25.
Okay. Oh, well, that's fine. That's interesting that it actually takes down 1 point. I'm not sure what the point of that was, but
I think it's because of something with like it's probably clan ferrofibers versus like standard armor or regular armor or something like that, and just how the points worked out.
okay.
Actually, the last one had light ferrofibers. This is standard armor, so that's why probably just the distribution of points that you get per ton changed.
I am liking this one better. While I'm not a huge fan of the heavy large laser in general for the 18 heat. I mean, it is the clan version, so it's 16 damage to 18 hate. Not the best, ratio, but not terrible. The improved gets rid of the penalty to hit with those things. I think, right?
It does, but I believe they can explode when they get hit.
Good to know. Never used them before in combat. Good to know.
I mean,
Part,
I don't
part,
think it never came up in in the campaign because the campaign, the Scouring Sands like Aces box, almost every variant in there has either standard or improved heavy large lasers on everything, which is kind of annoying.
yeah,
But we never actually hit the lasers with the crit yet.
right. I mean, you know, after Bob's comment, the first thing I jumped to was what's in the head. Of course, now instead of just having a medium laser that does 5 points of damage that has 369 range brackets, it has an ER small instead, which takes up the same amount of slots for the same
Yeah,
damage and just worse range brackets. So,
it's
um,
but it's half a ton lighter.
yay. Um, I do like the weapons better though. I mean, it is at least it's all 5, 10, 15. The clan ER mediums are very good at 7 damage. We did that in our medium laser video. Those are fantastic weapons. You get now there's a good ratio, right? You get 7 damage for 5 heat, and I think there's still only 1 ton, and you get a large laser range bracket. So kudos on that one. Um, I'm not that familiar with that variant of the SRM4. Is that a like an improved version?
It's an improved one shot. So basically, what the one shot weapons before, like a standard one shot weapon, is the weight of the launcher plus half a ton, but you don't have to give it any ammo. It just gets one shot like the rocket pods.
Okay.
Improved one shot just makes the whole thing lighter instead of penalizing you for making a one shot.
Okay. Okay, I see. But
I don't
it's
know why they made the original one shot the way they did. I feel like one shot weapon should have just been this way instead.
in the first place. I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, both that and the SRM and the small laser are kind of like whatever. You're not gonna like base any play off of that really.
yeah. It's
So
still it's a triple strength monomer, by the way.
okay. At least this is better for that though. There's no minimum ranges, so um, I could see this trying to play at range 5. To get the short range bracket, and if you're in range
Mhm.
5, I mean, close combat is not an impossibility, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
especially since these weapons are just very heat intensive.
right. Yeah, I don't know if it can actually do it, right? It's what is that? 36 for the two large lasers plus an extra 10, so 46. It only has 26 heat.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. It can't even fire the two large lasers at the same time. By
not without overheating.
by
It's
by 10.
yeah.
And then it still
which is
has
enough to activate triple strength monitor,
great.
and then I think cancel out the movement buff you get from it.
Yes, because it's high enough. Yeah,
I think so.
it might be. I mean, certainly. I mean,
Yeah,
what
at 10, exactly at 10 is -2 movement points.
I mean, if you alpha strike with this thing, I mean, you build up like 20 heat. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
it's
nearing shutdown with one like that. Oh my goodness,
to me this is an F.
this is an F for that price of 2,200. Same armor, actually a little less. Much better. I mean, if we're capable of the heat, it would be probably at least a B. Probably not better than a B, or maybe not even a B because of the price. But if we're able to shoot everything it has, it would be a lot better. It can't even shoot its two main weapons, which is sad.
Yeah. Yeah,
It-
and so this is the one that the in the box is it's modeled on. Like this is
okay,
what the mech itself is, which it also looks identical, pretty much, other than it being on a drum jet plume if you choose to put it on that, or
right.
otherwise you can put it on a tactical rock. But it's the same as a standard Star Slayer you get from the Mercenaries box, and that version I think is like a pair of large lasers and two mediums and an SRM4, which just sounds a lot better. It was kind of fun using it in that one battle we did.
Yep.
So don't worry, the two variants you get in here may suck, but it has a lot of other pretty decent variants that were probably like in the C to B range. So
Okay. So just the
it's not
ones that
bad overall.
right. This probably also has an interesting alpha card because they do overheat differently in Alpha Strike. So it probably gives you some interesting options as far as overheating in Alpha Strike. But from a classic standpoint, this is an F, and the other one's a
Yep.
D. They might be one grade better in Alpha, but okay. Well, moving on. I hope to something a little bit better. Oh, by the way, I mean, are you going to do an unboxing video at some point on these guys, or?
Yeah, I was trying to have that out earlier today, but the video kept getting corrupted when trying to give it to YouTube. So that's coming soon,
Yep. It's a pretty cool
hopefully.
looking. It's a pretty cool looking model. All of these, I think, are. So let's keep going.
Yeah, and I compare both of them in there and stuff too. So
Okay, good. Ooh, the awesome.
yep,
I'm
this version we've used.
Yeah, the 9Q I'm familiar with. The standard awesome is one of my baseline, smaller assault mechs as one of the best values in the game for 3 PPCs at I think 16 something battle value.
Yeah,
This is about probably at least 200, 250 more. Um, the armor looks about the same.
it's pretty much just a straight upgrade to double heat sinks uh and extra PPC. Like you get double Yankets, like Endo Steel, double heat sinks, and like the weight you save just added in an extra PPC, and it has exactly the same firing pattern as the original Awesome.
And it looks like they also added an ECM, which doesn't normally come with a regular one, right?
It does not. And then there's a different variant. There's like a hero named variant, which is I think the one we're using in our campaign currently. That drops the ECM for a C3 slave and upgrades that small laser to a small pulse to help deal with infantry.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, I have had problems in the past with awesomes which you've charged, right?
Hmm.
It is good at just parking it and throwing the PPC shots out there, which it's fantastic for that because it is so slow. Like even if it's backing up, it just doesn't really have the movement to get out of a physical combat kind of guy because then it becomes just too dangerous to have somebody just park on your face or right behind you and you're not
Yeah.
maneuverable enough. But you're right. I mean, the pattern is really good. I mean, it's you fire four that builds up like two heat if you're stationary, and you probably should be stationary when you're unloading with all of them. And you probably do like 4-4-3. The third
Yep.
round, you just burn off all the heat that you generated. So similar pattern to the normal awesome, except that's 3-3-2. So you end up with three extra PPC. You get an extra PPC shot every single turn, which most of the time is equal to a 1/3 benefit. It's only 250 more. I mean, that seems like a good trade as far as cost price ratios and things like that. You still end up with just the one mech though that's vulnerable in the head and everything that goes along with it. So, but I mean, I don't see how this is not really an A. I mean, I view this as an
Yeah.
A mech for
No,
sure.
this is I both the 8Q and the 9Q are pretty much are like gold standard when it comes to like comparing other mechs to it, especially in that heavy to assault range of just like damage that you could throw out to price, like battle value, like ratio, and durability.
Yeah, I mean this is you know a rare S tier kind of mech as well for the price. I think.
Yeah.
I mean they're both fantastic mechs, the 8Q and the 9Q. Um,
Especially in kind of those earlier eras too, if you're not doing anything weird with like the clans and all that stuff. Like both of these are both this and the original Awesome are both standouts in their original eras.
Yeah, I tend to like the original one probably a little bit better than this, only from the standpoint of if you can upgrade the pilot, you're multiplying against a smaller base, and I'd rather have like because this is still in one chassis, right? Bad things can still happen to one chassis,
Yeah.
so it's just kind of like every other game where you can add upgrade cards. You've added upgrade cards to this to an already fantastic mech and made it even more fantastic, but its underlying durability has not improved. So just take that
I
with a
would
little
say
bit
its
of grace.
durability probably is slightly worse actually because a double heat sink is much more likely to get critted out than a single heat sink. They take up 3 slots and you lose 2 heat sinks equivalent when you take 1 crit
Good point.
to it.
Good point.
So you are just as efficient until you start taking damage.
I see. Oh, that makes
But I
sense.
do like the ECM on it, which is good for countering things like
I like that
C3
too. Yep, I like that too.
because people can't get in your short range bracket and try to help out like their other like snipers and stuff. Like you're protected from people getting like a advantage on you if you're having a sniper duel by having a spotter.
Yep,
Which is cool.
agree. No, very cool. Awesome mech, no pun intended.
Yeah. I wish the armor was a little bit more front loaded on it, just because it's supposed to be kind of a sit back and snipe kind of design, but that's fine. It's also good for preventing being backstabbed.
Yeah, I think it was also probably designed this way just from the standpoint of it's uh if because it's so slow, something could get behind it, and it's like who
Hmm.
cares if a spider jumps behind it? It's like I'll eat your
Yeah.
medium lasers, no problem.
Hmm.
Let's see. The next version looks like it's basically the same armor layout. No change there. Did that go not work properly? Oh, it's
It
the
should be
ER.
the same.
Ah, the ER PPCs. I saw the 4 PPCs and I was a little bit confused. Sorry. Oh my God, what happened to the battle value? Did that go up by like
Well,
900
they're
points?
clan ERPPCs. They do 15 points of damage each.
Oh, okay. Hmm. I need to absorb this for a second.
So you're dealing 60 points of damage per turn if you hit with everything.
That's impressive. That's not unique, but it's
And
very
every
impressive.
single one of them can headshot.
That's true. One shot kill with the headshot. And that is 60 heat versus 54. So this is more like oh three I'm sorry, 4-3-4, like alternating pattern every other
Yeah.
round kind of thing. So
But you definitely could push it if you had to in an emergency.
you could push it if you had to in an emergency, I agree. No minimum range, so that
Yep.
solves a huge problem there. Longer
And your
range,
short went out by 1 more also.
yep. And the
And the
mediums went out
medium
by
by 2.
by 2. So um I mean, it's hard to argue other than the price. I mean, you're basically almost getting like what is it like 3 regular awesomes, particularly the eights for the price of 2 of these. Maybe. I mean, it's
Yeah. I mean, you went up by about 1,000, a little bit less, a little bit under 1,000, but you could get some pretty solid lights or mediums plus the other awesome for the price of this guy.
yeah. And again, I mean, really no difference on the armor. It doesn't look like so.
No,
Um,
it's exactly the same. So you didn't increase your durability, you just increase your value
I see. Interesting.
or your damage output.
Hey, Affix Bayonets. Nice to see you here. Um, Yeah, no, I mean this is excellent. Particularly if you're playing. The reason it's like for clan, which I'm overall not the biggest fan of, but that's a lot of times because there's also the movement modifier applied to a lot of the frontline clan mechs. This is obviously a refit, right, of an awesome, maybe a captured awesome
Yeah.
or something. So
I'd probably whatever they brought with them originally.
okay, that's true. I see original Star League stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's 3.5, so you don't have the huge multiplier against it like you do on the other 5.8s. So at 5.8, I'm sure this would be like a 3,500. I mean, you probably
Hmm.
couldn't even get it to work with the engine size, but although I guess you could technically with the 400, right? It would barely work as a 5. Um,
Yeah, but I mean the clans don't like doing that with their assaults really anyway, unless they're putting in like mask to like give them a boost at that speed.
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, well, really good. I can't say that I would prefer this over the other one simply because I don't like spending that kind of battle value on one mech that can just be headshotted um, and such. So I would probably rate this as a B. What do you think?
I was gonna say B minus just because like you could get a similar other variant to the awesome for cheaper. But if you are a clan player and you're trying to make a fully clan force, this is pretty good. I probably like it over a lot of the other clan assaults. It's
Right.
got good durability, fantastic weapon choice. I mean, if those are large pulses, probably even better. But these are fantastic weapons. All of them can headshot. So if you are kind of outnumbered, you might get kind of lucky, as clans typically are in equal battle value situations. You could get lucky and headshot an enemy opponent and drop a mech a lot faster than you normally would. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, and the armor patterns on all the awesomes that we've looked at, and I think in general, I mean, are really nice because they are over 20 on each of the torsos and over 30 in the center. So even two of these ERPPCs to the center of let's say the baseline awesome is not going to pen the center. So same thing with the legs; it's not going to blow off a leg. They get E2 of these, so that's pretty nice. I mean, I know it's an assault
Yeah,
mech, but I mean, it's so much beefier than the 50 tonner that we looked at.
I think my only problem with the clan version of the awesome is it takes away one of my like favorite features of it. Of it's relatively budget friendly compared to the effectiveness it can do.
Okay, thank God.
And this is no
I
longer
thought you were gonna say the small laser.
well, that's gone too. Who needed that?
Yeah.
No one wants that thing
Okay.
there.
Okay.
But
You redeemed
uh
yourself with your comment. Okay, good. But
like
yes,
it's no longer budget friendly. It's just a big expensive brick.
yes, yes. It is. I mean,
A very
it's
strong
impressive.
brick, but it's expensive now.
Yeah. I mean, that's yeah, exactly. I mean, in a bigger battle, like you said, maybe it's a star versus two lances, type of scenario. It's better, but I mean, this just it goes back to why I don't really like clan. They're just all kind of like really overpriced and things like that. And I like to I like to have just kind of I guess smaller scale kind of stuff kind of working like they're not OP'd super mechs and stuff like that, and you're just you're just hoping you're going to get your lucky shots in before they lucky shot you. That's not really the gameplay that I personally prefer, but that doesn't detract from the fact that this is still an extremely good mech. B minus. I agree with that rating.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to face one in our campaign that we're doing.
No, I would not. Okay,
So scary.
moving on to the Tianzong, which I've literally
Yeah.
never heard of.
Yeah, well, you'll be happy that this one doesn't have any clan versions, as far as I know.
Okay, well that's good. Um, I guess this goes back to the House Liao theme. I guess I don't know. Um,
Yeah, this is the only I don't really know House Liao all that well, but the awesome I believe is more of like a staple of like House Merrick, which Liao borders. So maybe that's why they have it, and they tend to ally somewhat occasionally. I think. So I don't know why the awesome's in here. This definitely is a House Liao design.
Okay. I mean, interesting right off the bat. I mean, it's the heaviest heavy you can have without being an assault at 2167. So you're definitely very pricey. That's partially due to the 4.6 move, which may or may not be necessary. Given its weapon systems, I'm looking down at a pair of Gauss rifles. Probably didn't need to be 4.6, but that's okay. Let's keep going with that.
I think that's to keep its mobility up for being hit
Yeah,
and make it
um,
almost unhittable and
yes,
keep distance.
that's true, and keep distance because it does have a minimum range. Although the minimum range on the Gauss rifle is really not that big of a deal. It's only a
That's not why it wants to keep distance. It wants to keep distance, keep people out of short range because of the stealth armor.
Ah, good point. I forgot about the stealth armor. I see that. That generates heat, but it looks like they did a nice job of basically making that not an issue. Actually, I don't see
You
how
won't
it,
be. Yeah, you can fire everything and not be. Fire everything at a run and be heat neutral.
with stealth on and it's still fine. So,
Yeah,
that's
as
well
well as
designed.
it has Angel ECM.
I don't know what that means.
No, that's the one that blocks streak.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so it's not just the C3 stuff, it also blocks streaks. So, that's actually
Yeah,
very
and it
nice.
blocks. And so it basically accounts for most things for like C3 and counter ECM stuff. It counts as two ECMs basically for that kind of thing. It blocks some of the more advanced sensor packages like the Bloodhound active probe instead of and the Beagle, but the
Mhm.
Bloodhound can see through standard ECM. This blocks the Bloodhound, and negates a streak penalty. So streaks basically count as regular SRMs when they fire through this.
I see. So yeah, and then Fixed Bayonets was commenting that this came out in around 3090 in the Capellans. I don't know how.
Okay, so it's well beyond when we ever look at stuff for us.
Okay, so this is a much more modern mech.
Yeah, like normally like clan invasions like 3050 era, and then like the Civil War era between Steiner and Davian is the 3060s.
Okay,
So
okay, that's
just
probably
to
why
give you
we've.
kind of a mindset of where we're at with our typical battles and stuff that we're
Well, and
playing,
that's
that's
why
the
you
era
have
we're
some pretty
currently.
advanced technologies with the Angel ECM and the stealth armors,
Yeah,
right?
those are just barely beginning to exist in like our time period. So
I see. I see. Anyway, I mean, going back to the mech itself, I mean, what's that center and right, left?
oh yeah, let me pull that up really quick.
I mean, it looks like it's pretty heavily armored in the back. Maybe a little bit too much, but that's not
It's 9 in the back and 8 in the 9 in the center back, 8 in the side backs.
okay.
Front is 34 and the sides are 24.
Okay. So very
And
similar to,
24 on the arms as well.
so pretty similar to an awesome around 32 or so in the legs. I didn't count them, but
26. So a little bit light on the legs.
okay, a little light on the legs. Interesting. Okay, because the awesome was in the low 30s. Hmm. Well, I mean, getting back to kind of ranking it, Gauss rifles are always nice because again, it's one shot. Here there's two one-shot opportunities versus the last awesome that we looked at. ER mediums are always kind of nice, particularly
Yeah.
since it's not going to overheat. Uh,
Well, and I think like we talked about before in our medium laser live streaming video, the like the ER version, if you have a purpose for the extra range and increased range bracket distance, they can be good. And in this case, I would say that when you have stealth and you want to maximize every little bit of advantage you
yep,
have over somebody else, that's where the mediums come into effect.
I agree. I agree. I mean, you're right. I mean, this has a better chance of having positive movement modifiers in its favor. It has the stealth if it's staying at medium and long range, making it virtually unhittable if it's actually kind of trying to charge in, which it's really not. Um, but
But
it
it could be
gives
circling the battlefield and stuff too, and
it
total
could be
circus
circling
and
the battlefield at a 2100 point, super heavy, but sure.
yeah,
Um,
and a fixed man. That's right. This is for the shadow lances for House Liao, which is why it's got stealth armor and stuff.
okay. I mean,
So every
thematically,
variant of this thing has stealth armor.
okay. I mean, thematically, that's cool. I mean, I,
Mhm.
I appreciate, the thematic aspect of it. It's fine. I mean, the biggest deal is the 2167 battle value. I mean,
Yeah, it's
we
expensive.
we just looked at the awesome from before, right? Which is equal survivability, I would say. I mean, there's not really a whole. I mean, this is stealth, so at the longer ranges where you're tougher to hit anyway, this does have an advantage. And the Angel ECM is better than the regular ECM, but pretty minor stuff. The main issue I have with it is that now you have 30 points of really long range, capability damage wise, and the awesome that we didn't like that as much had 60. Like it literally
Hmm.
had four chances each time to just one shot, one kill somebody in the head, and here it's
Yeah,
two. So, um,
I
I
would
have
say overall as a chassis, it's relatively unique as a dual Gauss stealth platform,
yes, yeah. I, I'm
which is cool.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's better than probably a C plus, because of the price. Overall, I don't see anything wrong with it. I just don't. it's trying to have the mobility to take advantage of the stealth, but you're this big beefy armor thing. Like, do you really need the stealth? It is very nicely heat neutral, but its maximum output, until you get a lot closer, is still only the 30 points, which is a nice number. Don't get me wrong, but that's also what you get with a normal awesome, the 8 variant, right? Is it 8D or
Hmm.
whatever the letter designate?
AQ.
8Q. Um, I mean, it really isn't putting out more damage than an 8Q, so, but you're paying 500 points more for it.
Yeah.
So, again, nothing really wrong with it. I just don't think it's elite, and I don't think it's in the excellent or extremely good category either. I think this is probably a B minus, also, kind of like
Yeah,
the
I was gonna say probably a B or B minus actually, in my opinion. Probably a B just because it's unique. Like there really isn't anything that's doing this for other than other variants of it. But
right.
I can't think of another mech that's dual gauss, mobile, and stealth armor, and that Angel ECM for disrupting streaks, which we like using quite a bit, is kind of nice too.
It is, because I mean, streaks just are just overall just hands down better than regular SRMs in almost every way. We'll do a video
And
on it at
streak
some point.
LRMs.
And streak LRM, so that is really nice. I mean, the aesthetics of it too. I mean, Bob kind of commented on it a little bit. I like the relatively unique aesthetics.
Hmm.
They're kind of cool. Both with the underslung kind of medium lasers, as well as the big gausses on the shoulders
Yeah,
and
those
stuff.
medium lasers I feel like should be bigger guns than what they are,
Yes,
but
that's a little bit of a facade. So,
it might be for the next variant we get to. I'm not sure which one
okay,
specifically the one that's
let's.
modeled, but yeah, kind of the shoulder guns. I don't know if you ever looked at it before, but there's a mech called the Legacy that's like a World of Blake design
Okay,
that has similar shoulder cannons also, and it kind of reminds me of that.
that's cool. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I like the different aesthetic. That's the extra points for that. So let's move on to the next
Hmm.
version of this thing, the N3,
Yep.
which is
Very similar.
okay, light PPCs instead of. Okay, so even more extended range, which is probably good. I mean, it goes back to your point originally of wanting to keep a distance where it could take care of its stealth. I don't think it's causing any heat problems still, although this
It
is.
is.
Oh, it is because that's 10
It
plus
drop
the.
so to fit the light PPCs because light PPCs weigh 3 tons per
Yep.
gun instead of 1 ton. It had the drop two heat sinks, and it also has a small cockpit and has 1 ton less of ammo.
And it's cheaper.
It is cheaper,
Interesting. Hmm.
and normally, I mean, I would probably prefer that with it being cheaper, other than the fact that now I can't fire all my weapons effectively, unless I'm standing still.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't going to really fire those ER mediums until a lot closer range, though, anyway, than these. So, whether you're firing two and then taking one down, depending on how you're maneuvering and all that kind of stuff, I mean, I probably overall do like this version better. Um, Even though there is heat, I mean, it's cheaper. It throws damage out the same amount of damage, right? I mean, the light PPC is the same damage and same. Well, it's more heat, but same damage as a ER medium, isn't it?
That's correct. So it's still 5 points of damage. Now you have a minimum range on it, though,
On everything.
on everything. So now you've got nothing to protect yourself. Like if now you're even more extreme than you were before because you didn't want anybody closing in on you at all with the original version. But now if someone closes in, like you're really kind of helpless because you've got the minimum range on the gauss, you lost your stealth bonus, and now your backup weapons also don't help you anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a big jack of all trades mech. I like the specialist kind of role, so that actually appeals to me probably much more than it appeals to you. I don't think the Gausses are really that big of a deal at the close range, particularly with the mobility of this mech. You don't want to be caught with the Gauss at like range two, so unless you're able to actually get there in point blank, and even then, like some Jenner's gonna run up to it and do what, like strip some of the armor off, scratch the paint, and it's risking being hit by a Gauss. Like that would end the most Jenners in a lot of places. So
Hmm. You just have to be careful with the. I mean, if you take a total of 20 points of damage, you are having to make that piloting skill roll, and because of that small cockpit, you have a higher chance of falling over.
I don't like the small cockpit. You're right, and it
Yeah.
doesn't. The stealth armor part of it does help it avoid getting that,
Yeah, because it's hopefully not getting hit that much.
or not that frequently, right, in the
Yeah,
same turn. So
exactly.
again, not my favorite mech, but I do like it better than the other one, honestly.
Yeah, I like the cheaper price. Um, I'm worried. Like it feels like a mech that when things start going wrong on it, everything is going to go wrong like really quickly, and it's going to be a very dramatic kind of death for this thing.
I feel like the other one though, like if you were playing against me with the other one, you would just feel compelled to try to get those ER mediums into a serviceable range. And then I feel like it could be a trap. Like all of a sudden, like, now your backup weapons are two medium lasers. Okay, fine, they don't have a medium range, but like closing in with like another like a Axeman or something like that is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, with those, I'd probably be trying to sit at the 7 or 8 range, just because that's where your medium lasers for the medium. You're at medium range for the medium lasers, and then you're at short range for the gauss, which seems like it's kind of ideal range track to sit as like 7 or 8.
Yeah, and I mean with this, I mean the 6 and 7 work very nicely, but if you want to play it safe, I mean definitely staying at the 10, 11, 12 kind of range is very safe because most things can't close on you that fast. So
Yeah.
and you're getting a really nice bonus typically against all that stuff, and you're outside the range of typical 369 weapons like
Mm-hmm.
standard AC-20 and stuff. So this allows you to play outside of the range at all of a lot of those weapons by sitting out there at 10. Even a snub nose PPC is not getting short range on you.
Yeah. In my opinion, I would probably do this as like a B minus compared to the other one being a B.
I would flip it the other way. I would say
Yeah.
this is a B and the other one's a B minus, but
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah, I
fair.
mean, to me, there's enough negatives so for it to like you've got less heat capacity to fire all your weapons. That you're even more helpless at short range. Like you just really don't want someone to get to close range, and you suffer more when people actually force that situation on you.
Yep.
And then that small cockpit is just kind of I don't mind as much. I think we went through a phase where we were designing a lot of mechs with small cockpits, but um, it's the less of a drawback, but combined with everything else, just bumps it down to B minus for me instead.
Okay. I mean that's fair. We're inverted on the
Mhm.
Tianzong.
It's a solid chassis though. It's all around it. It's a cool mech. I like stealth mechs, and especially ones that work pretty well
Yeah, and
because they're
I and
still
I and
pretty
and
expensive.
this gravitates more with me because of the price. I don't like
Hmm.
to go over the 2000 in any chassis because they could be headshotted, right? So I just feel like the risk starts really going a lot higher as you go more and more above the 2000. So
Oh yeah,
that's why I've rated some of the other ones kind of lower too. So, but fair. I mean, there's one more mech, right?
yes.
Oh, yes, I now remember the Black Knight. Um,
Hmm.
Aesthetically, one of the classics in BattleTech, I think.
Yeah.
Always been like super cool. At least I like it. I like the way the weapon is and things like that. It cropped a little bit on this, it looks like, but um, they're usually just loaded with energy weapons. Whether it's a million medium lasers, this is what the 12 variant, I guess, of it.
Yeah, like the normal like Star Lake era one's a 6, Succession Wars era is a 7. Um, they typically don't have enough range or enough heat capacity to handle their weapons. That kind of tends to be a staple of them. Although some have other weapons, like I think there's one that has like a hatchet and stuff and is more heat neutral and things. So
And what
some
and
extra
what
bonus on them there.
No, that's true. And some of those become very, I mean, it's such a interesting chassis and has so many interesting variants on it. Some are certainly better than others. We'll see how this one kind of fares, but this one definitely has a lot of upgraded newer tech in it, right? But
Yeah.
what are we looking at as far as center front and left right armor?
Let me take a look. This is the 12.
This is the
We've
12.
got 29 in the center, 24 in the sides and arms,
Okay.
and legs. So 29 center, 24 everywhere else on the front,
Okay.
and then 10 center rear and 8 left and right rear.
Okay. Okay. Looks like it graphic glitched on the center rear a little bit there with one missing bubble, but that's fine. Um, I mean, I like it. It could have been a little beefier, I think, because I think the other one was a little beefier than that. So it's not maxed out armor, I don't think. Maybe the Black Knights never are. I don't.
A lot of mechs tend to not be quite maxed out,
Right. So, but fine. I mean, it's not bad. So, what are we looking at? Oh, a targeting computer. That
which
probably.
is cool. I mean, that's going to drastically bump up your
I
price,
was
but
gonna say that was not cheap as an addition, but that is very nice. So let's
yeah,
see.
it definitely was not especially weight right wise. That's a 6-ton targeting computer.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Large
Because targeting
lasers.
computers are based off the weight of every other gun on it. So,
And has a lot of guns, um,
hmm
and some heavier ones, right? So
yep,
the large laser has never really been one of my favorites, but I see a pair of those on here in the
yeah.
left and right torsos. You got the
This
ear.
looks like it's just a new new tech version with all the. It's got like the same weapons, but mediums and the PPCs got upgraded to ER versions, and the largers stayed the same for some reason.
Okay,
Not that I think when we need to do a video on this one too, I think the standard large laser is better than like ER large laser, but um, it's just interesting that they didn't upgrade those at all. They left them
it is
standard.
interesting that they didn't upgrade those. The ERPPC is always interesting. It's a lot of heat. Gets rid of the minimum range, which is nothing else has minimum range on this mech. So that's kind of cool, and it does throw it out a little farther. It gives you an effective range of the 14, which is now long range for the larges. But I mean, once you get within 10, you're basically at least firing your two large lasers and your ERPPC, which is 5, 10, 25 points, plus your, probably walk or run. I think you're trying to close, so a lot of times you're going to be running. So you're at 27. You're really probably not firing your ER mediums. The ER mediums just seem like backup weapons. You're not going to be able to fire those unless it's some last minute kind of alpha strike that you're trying to do because you're in a world of hurt. Um, they are in the arms too, so if something's outside your front arc, it gives you one ER medium out each side. You're also not going to use that if you're punching, so definitely trade-offs to having those things in the arms. I almost wish that they had put double ERs into the arms, but um, well, actually, the ERPPC's in one of the arms also. So I
It
guess
is, yeah. The right. That's a big gun on the right
yeah.
arm.
So I guess if you're flanking it on the right side, you're in trouble. But if you come around the left side, it's just got the one ER medium. So from scratch,
And interesting that it also dropped the small laser that was typically on this, because the original Black Knight is basically a sampler or like buffet of all the energy weapons, where it's got one small, I think like 4 mediums, 2 largers, and a PPC.
yeah.
And this got rid of probably the most useless one out of all of them.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, you're right, AIM 9B. It does look amazing. I mean, it just has that retro feel to it. It's just
Yeah.
a cool aesthetic and stuff. And I mean, it's a fantastic mech. It has the mobility it needs, but it's not crazy by trying to go like 5'8" or whatever. The targeting computer, while it weighs a lot and adds to the price, I mean, now we're still talking. This is comparable to I think the 9D variant of the awesome.
Thank you.
9Q, sorry, I don't know why I keep saying D. Trying to always give it to Davian or something. I don't know. 9Q, that we reviewed earlier, and its output is kind of similar. I mean, you basically end up with two large lasers and an ER PPC. One's longer range, the other two are shorter range than a normal PPC, but combined damage is about the same, around 30 points. This is 32 points, I guess, between them versus the awesome. This
Yeah, this is
has
much more of a brawler kind of closer range guy.
yes. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess the 9Q does put out 40 versus the 8Q, which is 30. So this is, I guess, a little bit closer to 8Q at long range, but improves definitely if you get closer and want to brawl. Um, I like it. I mean, I've always been enamored with the aesthetics anyway. I think it's a good chassis size. Um, I like it. I mean, I probably, I mean, just because you can't use a lot of the ER mediums at range, I question why they're ERs. I wish they were standard mediums, honestly. Um,
Yeah, which, like I said before, if you're going to put ERs, you need to have a reason for it. And I'm not really seeing much of one on here. other than if you're trying to like keep the ERPPC at like maximum kind of range, similar to like the Gauss rifle. But it doesn't need to. It kind of
And you
it's
overheat.
more of yeah. It just seems like the kind of mech that you put in the center of like your battle line as just a durable anchor that has a good long range weapon to kind of fire at stuff as they come in. But you didn't need to make the medium lasers ER versions.
It barely added any reach, which you can't really utilize because of the heat. And then, um, if they were standard mediums, that would save you 8 points of heat, which you'd still
Yeah.
overheat, but you wouldn't overheat like crazy as much. So, uh, if this were medium lasers instead of ERs, I would rate it as an A. Even so, with the targeting computer, this guy's devastating with the amount of hits it could put on target. I think and brawl in there. Center of the battle line, like you said, core mech. I would put this as a probably an A minus B plus.
Yeah. The original Black Knight is 1443, by the way.
Okay, and that has like 8 medium lasers or something.
It's the same amount of medium lasers. They're just their standards. Everything's
Oh,
standard on there,
everything's standard and no targeting computer.
and no targeting computer.
Yeah, I like this better than that, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
I would say it's probably I would say it's a B. Black Knights overall are pretty good. I think they're a great chassis with a lot of good variants. This is not bad. It's probably not my favorite overall because of those mediums.
yep.
And it just ends up being expensive. And I don't feel like you gain that much for the increased price over some of the other ones. But I would still say it's a pretty good variant. There's nothing wrong with it.
The targeting computer adds more than it. I mean, that's like a hidden
Yeah.
gem in there. I mean, with all those
Yes.
weapons, that's that. But all the more reason, if these were medium lasers, I would rank this an A all day long
Oh yeah.
because it'd be a little cheaper and it'd be much more heat efficient and things like that. But even so, I think I'd probably give it a B plus.
Yeah. I know. I would say probably B to B plus also.
Yep. Cool. And then there's one more variant of the Black Knight, I assume, which is
There
the.
is.
Oh my God. Okay, never mind. I saw the price jump, and it's like okay, and then I see your.
We're back to the clan tech again.
Oh, and we're back to the buffet. It looks like too with the weapon systems.
Yes, this one we just took everything and just made it clan. The small laser's back.
Small lasers back, but as a pulse, we got a Beagle active probe. Targeting computer's still here. Um, I mean, it is drastically improved, obviously, because large lasers go from what 8 damage to 10 damage. The PPC goes
Yeah.
from 10 to 15. The ranges are longer on everything.
Yeah,
The
the
ER.
heat overall didn't change too much, other than the larges now are like 4 more heat each.
Okay, so let's take a look at that heat part of it. So a pair of those is 24 plus the ERPPC is 34, 39. So you're basically at least you could fire the long range stuff and walk
Mm-hmm.
without overheating, so that you're heat
Yep.
neutral. That's solid, very very solid. And the range on ER larges for clans also goes up.
Yes.
So again, not one of my probably least favorite weapons. I think is the ER large clan, because of the heat and stuff, but still fine.
It's so much better. Well, probably the worst is the standard ER large because it's the same heat with no damage increase
Okay,
and
yes.
shorter range.
Agree. Definitely agree. Yeah, this lets it play out at medium range, at like 14 because of the ERPPC is actually the
Yeah, I feel like you become more of a skirmisher with this variant.
you do. You do. Um and then you still have the four ER mediums, but now they're clans, so they do more damage for basically the same heat and better range. So, I mean, at range 10, you could throw a lot of dice out there, right?
Yep.
And a lot of heat, but I mean, you'd overheat by like 20, but you could. Obviously, you're not going to because you're not going to waste it on medium range shots. But with the targeting computer, if you had to, if you were damaged or something, like maybe somebody stripped your center torso or whatever, and you were worried about that being your last round, I mean, and you still had all that, then that'd be kind of cool. I mean, it is better. I mean, there's no doubt as to those are just straight up better weapons in every regard,
Yep.
but you've added so much battle value to it that it becomes obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I would keep the targeting computer in exchange for like another couple more heat sinks.
Yeah, I
Like if you
mean,
could get rid of the target computer, the small pulse laser, and the active probe, and fit in some more heat sinks, I don't know if there's really enough slots to necessarily do that. But if it just had that, I probably would like it a lot more, just because now you can actually fire everything.
well, even just removing the active probe and the small laser, and if that gains you one heat sink, that'd be enough to sell me on that part of it, and at least that improves it some. Um, but it's I don't know. This is C at best in my mind because of the price, and it's a skirmisher, not as much of a brawler. Like you lose all the benefits of the extended range weapons if you go in and brawl, right?
Yeah.
Like, why did you even have that? Which is what we joked about on the other one in the first place of why even have the ER mediums. On this one, it's even more extended range. Um, I mean, it's fantastic at that, but ultimately, if you're just doing the really large stuff, I mean, you're throwing out decent dice. I mean, it's what is it, 10 damage, 10 damage, 15, but that adds up to 35, which is still less than the 9Q, and this is significantly more expensive than the 9Q Awesome.
Yep.
So I don't know, C minus, D.
I have to say probably like a C minus. It's just it's too hot. As most clan mechs are, they're they have way too much firepower that they can never really hope to use effectively.
Yep, yep,
This isn't like a stalker that is gonna go from like long range weapons to medium range to short range kind of as it walks in and stuff like that. Like this is
yeah. The stalker's
if you
cool
have
because it's a bracket walker, right? Like it,
mhm,
it has its bracket of weapons for long range, it has its bracket of weapons for medium, and it has its bracket for small.
which I
Like
wish there were more mechs that did that.
that those are pretty cool. I mean, I've actually ironically the my appreciation for the stalker has grown over time, particularly the some of the original variants of it and stuff like that. But particularly as the battle value is pretty low, and you just it's just kind of a cool mech that you
Yeah, I mean, my
appreciate.
favorite thing, I think I've quoted it many times for it, but like their official like sales slogan for the stalker is like, um, it's not flashy, but it just keeps coming or something like that.
There you go, there you go.
You're not stopping it. It doesn't look all that impressive, but it just keeps going and marching towards you, and it just keeps firing with whatever it needs to at whatever range, and it's effective. It doesn't have to be fancy. This Black
Yep.
Knight's trying to be way too fancy.
So let's try to rate the box. I'll kind of walk it backwards a little bit off of the this would be this variant at least is a do not recommend. But I
Yeah.
jump back.
Well, I feel like the only exception, I guess, if you're trying to have a heavy in your like a more skirmishy kind of lance and you wanted something to add some weight to it, that's where this I think can do that because of the increased range on the weapons. There's probably other better mechs for that, but if you insisted on having a Black Knight for bulk in there, it that's where this I think has a role. Other
Yeah,
than that, I'm not really sure why I would take this version over other
yeah.
ones.
If you insist on a bad deal, there's your mech, right? That's fine. Like if you thematically need to have a bad mech, then
Well, I'm not saying
congratulations.
even necessarily a bad mech, but I mean, if you want it with like stuff like enforcers and other like skirmisher types, and wanted the lance of those, and you wanted like a command mech for that, I mean, that's where this variant I think is trying to fit into.
It's
Is
just super
like
expensive.
yeah,
So I mean, it's still a bad deal. Like if thematically you want to have it, that's great. But there's better Black Knight variants, including the other one that comes in the box. At least as far as like the named variants in the
yeah.
box,
I
this is
think we
better.
tend to play a lot cheaper of battle value, at least for how many like we just tend to take cheaper mechs instead of the expensive ones too, which I think a lot of mechs tend to be pretty expensive. But I don't know why I would take this.
Yeah, I mean, I've switched to the 12. The 12 is solid. I mean, I could recommend this. I could
Hmm.
probably recommend other variants of the Black Knight over this, but it's a nice sculpt in the model. You'll see it when you do your unboxing and things like that. You can never really go wrong with the Black Knight. It's not necessarily going to be a battle winner for you or like some extreme kind of thing, but it does a little bit of everything. Center the like you said, center the battle line kind of mech. You can't go wrong with a battle a Black Knight in this kind of battle value. You could probably do a little bit better with a different variant of it, but there's nothing wrong with this Black Knight.
Yeah, he's expensive, but he's not that overly expensive.
Yeah.
He's similar in price to a lot of intro tech assaults, so that's not bad.
Oh, I like the appreciate your comment, Bob. It's didn't realize you were as much of a BattleTech player and stuff. So yes, the stalker is underappreciated and underloved, but we agree with your comment. um, Tianzong, not a fan with either variant. I don't know if there's other variants that are worth it. This is aesthetically, it's kind of cool and different than the other ones, but other than the aesthetics, I'm not. I wouldn't buy the box for this thing.
No, and we didn't when we were buying the box. It was for the Black Knight mostly, and awesome. As soon as we saw it in the store, we're like, yes.
Yes, I agree. So I'm gonna kind of skip over it. These will both be as a not recommend. Again, if you're playing in that era of I forgot what a fixed bayonet said in
That's like
the
I think Dark Age or something like
yeah
that era.
the later one maybe. I don't know what else is out there honestly in that era that might be better than that. I have to think that there probably are better things, but everything's
It,
going to be
it's
probably pretty
it's
expensive though in that
unique.
era.
It's definitely a unique mech with the dual gal stealth armor and
Yep.
Angel ECM. Like there's nothing else like it that I know of. I mean, I don't know very many later era stuff that well anyway, but that definitely sounds like a very unique combination.
I also think that 3090 mechs are probably going to trend toward a higher average price. So the 2167 is probably, and what was the other one? 2072. Probably
Yeah.
neither one of those is really like you're not going to flinch on a 2100 point battle value 75 tonner. I don't think in
No,
that
like
era.
I said,
So
like we tend to play it kind of like for a 4-on-4 kind of like style. Like we tend to be relatively cheap, I think, than a lot of the community tends to be.
yes, we've tried the clan stuff before, where I think you tried it against me with some Intersphere stuff. I mean,
Well, okay, we've tried like one side being extremely cheap and one side being very expensive,
yes.
but that's I mean I think most of the community tends to do um like 10,000 battle value kind of battles or 8,000 or something like that for like 4 mech kind of stuff.
If both sides are going super expensive, it's a different story. But
Yeah.
mathematically, because of survivability and the number of chassis that are out there, you're much better off probably with a bunch of 50-55 ton to
Hmm.
80 ton. That's kind of the sweet spot, inner sphere, well armored but solid gun mechs versus a bunch of fancy clan and things like that. As long as you can proportionally scale it, like you could get a lot of those guys for 10,000 battle value. And overall, I think that most of the time they're going to win. It's not as sexy as like, some of these like, fancy clan stuff. If both sides are playing that way, though, more power to you. That's great. I mean, but
Hmm.
I just mathematically, as an engineer, it bugs me
Oh
when
yeah.
it's like one side is and one side isn't. And despite the TV shows or whatever kind of stuff, the clan stuff, because it is properly, in my opinion, rated battle value wise. Overall, I don't think it's really worth it uh, on the fancy clan equipment most of the time. But if both sides are playing that, great, have fun.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the climax are not built that intelligently. I feel like with just being they're too fast and overgunned, and a lot of these guys are not particularly that like. I feel like the Tianzong at least pays for its battle value and like fairly, like it's fairly priced. A lot of the clan stuff is overgunned, oversped, and therefore is really expensive and not worth its price.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think it's just it doesn't know what it wants to be when it grows up. Of like, is it moving around? Is it stealthy? Is it? But it's also like big and heavy. Like I like big and heavy guys that go in and brawl. They take a pounding and stuff like that. They're not gimmicky with stealth armor and ECMs and all that kind of stuff. Of like, oh, you can't hit me. It's like, okay, hit the 40-ton mech instead of me that could probably eat your shot. So that seems
Yeah,
a
I mean
little
the
counterintuitive.
Tianzong's definitely a keep moving and don't ever be hit kind of thing.
I
And
know.
it's very bulky where if you do hit it, it doesn't really care.
And if it's in a lance that's all stealth armor, fine. But if my big and heavy expensive guy's the one that nobody can hit and they're picking on all the smaller guys, then my big and heavy guy's not doing his job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not my personal preference for a mech, but it's not bad and I see where they're trying to do with it and If you have something else that's going to be taking the punches for it instead, that's good. A nice side effect of the stealth armor also is you can't be a secondary target.
Oh, interesting.
So,
We haven't, and
uh,
we've definitely used stealth armor before, but I did not recall that.
we've almost never done secondary target shooting at people either. So,
Because BattleTech is on the 2d6 system, I mean the penalty's pretty extreme because it's
mhm.
non-linear. Going from an 8 to a 9 to hit, for example, is pretty significant. So most of the time we're not taking the penalty for that. So yeah, good point though. And then back to the awesome. I mean, both of these are fine. I personally prefer the other one, the 9Q, as one of the like an S tier like standards. But I mean, there's nothing. What can you say about 60 points of damage at range, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with both I mean, especially the 9Q, but with most awesome variants, they're my like kind of go to or gold standard when I'm looking at another mech to take over this in that same price range.
Yep. And like you said, we bought this box specifically to get this and the Black Knight. Everything
Yep.
else was just gravy.
Yeah, the
Fantastic
Tianzong
mechs.
just looks cool and is I don't I haven't looked at the legacy like image in probably like 2 or 3 years at this point.
Uh-huh.
But it reminds me a lot of it with having like those big shoulder autocannons and stuff like that. Like it just seems like it's a similar design aesthetic. So you could probably even proxy it as that if you wanted to, assuming your opponent's okay with it. So it's not overall. I think this is a pretty good box. And then
Yeah.
let's have the Star Slayer
Yeah, let's
also,
talk about the
which
Star Slayer, which wasn't very good. But again,
these
aesthetically
ones
kind of
aren't
cool.
good. Yeah,
I mean, it is. I think it is modeled with the jump jet like smoke or whatever underneath it too. I think on the actual model.
it
Uh,
does. And I was trying to get it on the rock base also, and it was a little bit unstable trying to get it stuck on that rock base. That's maybe just a me issue with it, but
mhm.
I definitely prefer the non-jumping.
Yeah, I do too. I mean,
Version.
I'm not. My painting ability is just not good enough to make the flame smoke stuff look good.
Yeah, no, without an airbrush or anything like that.
And then if
Although it turned out reasonably well on my elementals.
that's true, tiny, but yes, I mean that helps.
Yes.
And also then it's like whether it's Alpha Strike, which uses more the direct sighting kind of system, or the classic with the hexes, the height makes it kind of odd um, with the jump pose and things like that. So overall, I'm not a big fan of the jump pose, but for anybody that is, I mean, it is kind of cool to get a mech that is
It's
posed
great
that
for
way.
display pieces. If you want to like swap it from like, oh, here it is table like gaming ready with the on the rock base, and then pop it off and put it like in a display shelf with a jump ship plume, and you're a good enough painter to get that to work. It's cool. I like the dual purpose of them,
Yep.
but
And this is
these two
this.
variants I'm not that big of a fan of. Other ones that I've used before are not bad. It's a 50-ton medium. Those are never really all that bad. Like they're
They're not,
better
and
than
like
a
you
lot of
said,
other ones.
it's kind of a heavy recon mech, like you said. I mean, it's I think you were mentioning that. I think with the with one of the other ones we were looking at, like the um, if you're looking for punch, I mean, a heavy PPC, maybe some of the other variants are better than that than this is. But I mean, you're bringing ECM with you. You've got some heavy duty firepower and mobility at the same time. Again, I don't like it because it doesn't. It's why do you need the triple strength monomer stuff combined with long range weaponry and a minimum range?
Yeah,
We've been
these
through it
two are
before.
bizarre variants of it. I don't know why they gave us two really weird ones instead of with it seems like a lot of the other mechs is like a normal and like a slight variation of it. And this one I don't know why there's so many clan tag versions either. It's very weird.
Anyway, Star Slayer, you'll find a variant out there that probably is solid and you'll like. I don't. I think it's a solid chassis. I don't like the variants that came in the box, but hey, you don't have to play the variants that come in the box. So I think it was a good addition to the overall set. I guess let me just kind of go back to the group picture in the
He
front here.
does, like we said before, that 19 points of armor in the side hurts.
Yeah, again, I do not recommend these variants of the Star Slayer. I know if that's max armor, that's going to be a problem with any 50-ton mech. Um, the Awesome's fantastic. The Black Knight has even better variants, and the one that comes with it is solid. Some of these are better in alpha as well. I mean, overall, I like this set. I mean, obviously, we looked at it and bought it, and they basically had it a set, Awesome and Black Knight. So the other two didn't even really matter, but they're certainly not terrible from a model acquisition standpoint.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we close?
I mean, it's a good box. I highly recommend picking it up. I know Barnes and Noble still sells it and stuff, so I would definitely um would pick it up. Everything in here is good. It's not the only place for the Star Slayer, but it's probably one of the more cost effective ways to get a Star Slayer if you want one of them over the full mercenary like box set. So that's kind of nice. I think everything in here is good. You could paint they take paint really nicely. I mean, I have a Black Knight already that I've been using for a couple battles now, and it painted up super nicely. I really like the way that one looks. I have in my Davian Guard colors,
Pr-
but
Pretty hard to.
it's good.
Sorry, go
Hmm?
ahead. Go finish up. Sorry.
It's good. Awesome's good. Tianzong, you probably proxies multiple other heavies and stuff like that, or even make your own custom mech using it if you didn't want to use the Stealth Armor Gauss combo. Everything in here I think has a purpose. So I would definitely recommend the box. It's one of the better mercenary boxes in my opinion.
I agree. A little hard to find though. I mean, we're out in California. I could not find it locally, and hard to find online. The Barnes and Noble's online ordering system is, I think, one of the worst. I don't understand how they can't do e-commerce. I have no problem with going to the brick and mortar, but I don't think there were any in the entire Southern California region, right? So, uh,
Uh, no, there was.
oh, there was, okay.
Yeah, yeah, we ordered from like the one like down the street from us. I think it just we didn't know if it was there for real or not when like looking
Well,
online.
that's what I mean. Like, we've ordered from Barnes and Noble before, and then they have inventory errors, and then they never ship, and it becomes kind of a pain.
Yeah, I know they tend to be pretty good with like sending things even early a lot of times for when they're supposed to come out when you like pre-order like these box sets. But since this has been out for probably like 3 years, it seemed like they just had to pull it out of like some random warehouse somewhere.
Yes, I mean, but did we find this one in person, or is this one that we ordered online? I forgot.
This one we ordered online, and I think that's what I was saying. Like I think they had to pull out from like some random warehouse because they didn't
Okay,
seem to have it
and the
there.
other one is the
The
one that we found, the previous one.
Yeah, well, traveling and happened to stop in at a Barnes and Noble and saw it there and bought it.
Yep, yep. So, good stuff. Appreciate supporting, the brick and mortar stores and stuff like that. If you could find it there, I mean, there's definitely, economic benefits to the community for doing that. But I just find the Barnes and Noble stuff a little bit harder to acquire and stuff like that. But if you can find it and pick it up, I highly recommend this box for sure.
Oh yeah, and just a quick side note, it's the only box right now that I think you can get the awesome in because they're retiring the original Game of Armored Combat box that had the awesome in it.
Huh? Okay.
So that's gonna increase in price a lot for buying it from like third party resellers, like eBay and stuff. And this is honestly probably it's a newer sculpt, so it's a little bit more crisp on the details, and you have the 4 barrels on it instead of the 3 barrels. So it looks pretty cool. They're not too dissimilar, so this is definitely if you want an awesome, this is really going to be the only place to get it, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than trying to buy the starter box.
Yep, or trying to get one-offs later, right? So,
Yep.
I think get it while you can. This is a good box to pick up. I agree.
Yeah.
We get nothing out of this. We're just gamers and stuff like that. So it's just our honest opinion that this is definitely kind of cool to pick up. But anyway, thanks for helping put this together. And I enjoy doing these kind of sight unseen kind of ranking reviews. I hope everybody out there does as well. And thanks for joining everyone. And thank you, Captain Marquez.
Yeah. I would definitely rate this box an A.
I do too. I do too. Look forward to your unboxing video. Have a good one,
Yeah.
everyone.
Hopefully YouTube allows me to put it out.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding. Take care, everyone.
All right. I stopped mine.
I did too. Oh, 27